All right, hey black women. I'm actually doing this video out of reaction, okay? Now, as you guys know, I don't really care for black women making money anymore, right? So, I happened to just be perusing, and I saw that she was live, doing a live. Cherie was doing a live on asking black women or trying to promote them to vote for Republicans. Now, I don't usually do it. Fuck that. It ain't even about what I don't usually do. Listen, the bottom line is you can vote Republican all you want, and you will be sorry. Okay? It's not about Democrats versus Republicans because it's like I'm on this team versus that team. You have to look at people and judge their actions and understand the climate. Literally, read the fucking room. If you have Republicans dialing back on allowing black history to be taught in schools, it's a no travel advisory to their states simply because these people have the actual border patrol and state troopers and customs verifying your citizenship and etc., arresting people, detaining people, etc. That's really not some shit you need to be voting for. On top of that, right, you had two states within this week that actually won their case that went before the Supreme Court in reference to, remember, just before Biden became president and during his elections, you had Stacey Abrams and a whole lot of other people involved with the black voter suppression situation, and how it was like more than like 5 different lawsuits involving that. But that was your good old Republicans. So, unfortunately, when we have these very few, in their mind, elitist black women on YouTube who feel like because they have a house, they got a couple of $1,000 in the bank, or so they claim, or everything is so they claim. But, allegedly they got a house, they got $1,000 in the bank or more, they own a business, or they are entrepreneurs, or all this other shit that they allege that we have no way of proving. But because they come on here with a semi-coiffed hairdo, a mild demeanor, or a perfected, soothing, practiced voice, and a mannerism that makes you feel like, oh, this is the real deal, or yeah, she's professional, she knows what she's talking about. Or she may actually have 1 or 2 appearances on a show or some shit, right? But you do know black rich is not like white rich, right? And that in order for you in this country to really be having some money, you gotta go beyond rich. You gotta be like wealthy. Wealthy in the definition of you would be the motherfucker signing the checks for the rich people. You understand what I'm saying? So I get aggravated with these women because they're so pretentious. And I believe Cherie is extremely pretentious because it's like she claims she's from Louisiana, so am I. And it's like the way you look down on black people, whether you want to own up to it or not, because she's always quick to throw rocks and hide her hands, right? And you can see that in the way that we fell out because of the situation we had and how she let that blatant level of disrespect go on for that black lady that was kidnapped in Mexico. You need to stop it, all right? You're not rich, at least not to the extent that we would understand. If you are doing what all of us should have the opportunity and availability to do, which is own our own home, right? Or whatever type of property you would like to own, because everybody doesn't want to live in a house. Some people want to live somewhere else as long as they own it, right? All right. So if you have that established, you have some money, you own a couple of things, or you don't want to own a couple of things, but you're still able to live as free as you want within your definition of free. But be well above the poverty line and well above the miseducated line. And by that, when I say miseducated, I mean somebody that doesn't have a formal educated, but they're brilliant. They have accomplished many things in life, right? And they look at things in terms of us versus them when it comes to black people, and always black women, because this is all I see from this woman. So now, even though with her being amply reading the news and involved in the news, she is aware, all these black women are aware of the fact that Republicans ultimately are very racist individuals. I don't give a damn how you want to make excuses for it. It is what it is. Anytime people are trying to push back other people so that they could push whites ahead, whether they call themselves conservatives, liberals, or whatever, but the main base is Republicans, that's racism at its finest. That's the true definition of racism at its finest. When you're arresting people, locking them up, detaining people, killing people, allowing laws to come into effect overnight by secret, not even secret, but just special committees and etc., you are a criminal in America within a position of being a representative, plain and simple. And if you want these type of people, like, for instance, somebody like Trump, who has been impeached twice, has all kinds of legal problems, you know he's not a good, upstanding person of integrity. You saw how piece of his shit he was when we watched him in all those reality shows. We saw how he was for those of us in real life who pay attention to people's characters and know how they ain't shit when they get a little bit of money, right? He was a slum landlord. And in all of his slum landlord cases, he was evicting nothing but black people and poor Hispanic people. So, come on, man. Black women are wrong for trying to perpetuate the myth that being a Republican is going to save America. And for those of you out there that think you got some money just because you got $2 more lunch money than the rest of us, that being a Republican is the way to go. Because, you know, also there's that second half of it for the idiot divestors like DZ and them on her page with the shit of them wanting to believe in the fact that these racially prejudiced, racially overly biased white people are going to take the time to separate black males only from black women and children when they create things and laws to hurt black males, as if they're not just going to lump us all in there all together, including them, the delusional ones that think that because they have sex with a white man, right, that they're going to be exempt from white hatred and everything else that they do to hurt to make laws to hurt black people. So I'm just like so tired of all this. And I really need, like I said before, I really need you black women to start speaking up and start letting a lot of these really pretentious, full of shit content creators like Cherie from Black Women Making Money, look, go sit down with that bullshit. If you believe that you are white or want to be white or close to white, off-white, and you think you're equivalent to a white person, that's on you. The rest of us have more sense to know that we're not, and that voting for Republicans is not a good thing for us. It is not. Even when this man was president, if you think about the fact that the majority of people that had jobs and were employed were the same people typically that are always employed. People who always have something and who always have the education, the networking, and etc. to get a job. The people that are often left out and that are intentionally left out are the very poor, the very uneducated, and everybody else below them, mentally ill, disabled, etc., etc., etc. Below them in regards to your ability to have gainful employment, to pull you up out of the struggle you're in. These people don't, she's not thinking about that, nor do any other people. They just think about what they have and believing that some white person that spews all this hatred towards black people because they're a black person that has all this hatred towards black people too, they feel like this white person is going to be good for them. How does that make any rational sense, any logical sense? That you would support and stand behind a white person who wants to hurt black people in general, but you feel that But you feel like because you are in a certain tax bracket, they will excuse you and everybody else will be up for grabs. And then you go on to promote this for black people to join in with and for them to vote against their best interests. It's kind of like asking the black people to do the same thing the white women did with the abortion ban. Except for we don't get no benefit out of a Republican in any way being in office or having the majority of the House or the Senate. You understand what I mean? So if y'all go ahead and you're stupid enough to vote for these Republicans and put them in office, be real clear. They will do everything that they were not able to do with this last vote for the debt ceiling. They wanted the economy to crash, which would have meant that everybody that was looking to receive a check from the government to live, you would have never got one. And they don't care who else it affects. They just care about hurting these invisible, stereotypical welfare black queens that they're always trying to paint the picture of that keeps America in such a poor state of affairs. They don't care if they're hurting the veterans. They don't care if they're hurting the elderly. They don't care if they're hurting the disabled, the homeless. They don't care about none of that shit. But all of those people would stand to lose their checks if that debt ceiling vote did not pass. Okay, as it is, it was a bad vote because we got 2 years of this president being able to do nothing and get away with it because it was voted on. So the money that they dole out for people to go to school, live off of, have resources in case you get evicted, and etc., it's not going to be upped at all during these 2 years. So why would you want to keep voting for stagnant shit where people are constantly taking shit from you, which are Republicans, only to go through 2 years of like suffering and trying to make ends meet to allow somebody to come in who is totally against you thriving and striving in life and just want to make you as destitute as possible? Because that's all that's happening with these Republicans. When you look at how these people voted, which is why I don't know why she's doing this ridiculous fucking live, right? When you look at how they voted to cut everything that affected poor people and black people. And yet she's doing a video trying to promote black women to vote for these fucking people. Is DeSantis not large enough to be a good reason for you not to vote for them? Look at all of them. Look at all of their fucking history. Look at all of their voting history. Look at all the white women that belong to their party that constantly come out making black jokes every chance they get. That Marjorie lady, she be going hard acting like a fucking idiot, okay? They all do. And this is the innate hatred they have within them for black people. And you really think by voting them into office, they're going to do right by you? I really tell you, a lot of these black women on this platform are fucking operatives for white people because you just had 2 days ago, it was Wednesday, that Alabama won their Supreme Court to get 2 new districts for black people in their state so that they can be allowed to vote and their votes be counted properly, right? Same thing happened, I believe it was the other state was Tennessee. No, it was Texas, right? But the thing is, Texas and Alabama, are you fucking kidding me? You gotta, dealing with Republicans, you gotta actually go all the fuck the way to Supreme Court to be able to vote as a black person and not have your vote suppressed and not be accused of voter fraud and etc. But you got a black woman who's supposed to be about black women, but she only cares about the black women who are imaginarily like her, rich, and you know, what is she, the silly shit she says on her fucking channel? Something about within a 10%, the black women within the 10%. You know, all of this shit is like black people straight out of the fucking black bourgeoisie belief from W.E.B. Du Bois. Like, if you ever read his shit, he was like one of the most ignorant, intelligent, stupid black motherfuckers known to man. I don't care who likes Du Bois, I'm telling the truth. This motherfucker wrote a whole book about worshiping and idolizing white women, and how if black men only got to be with white women, how great they could become. And then he wrote a whole nother book on the same fucking black people she's talking about, the supposed talent and tenth of black people that are within the entire population of all of us, because the rest of us are shit. We less than the shit underneath people's shoes because, you know, in his opinion, we don't have enough etiquette, enough smarts, or enough initiative within ourselves to go do the things he feels we should have done to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps, even though we were under systematic oppression. I guess she feels the same way, because how are you going to vote for people that blatantly fucking show you in your face they want you to have nothing in this world? Voter suppression, fighting over the debt ceiling vote, trying to like literally let the whole entire country go into complete standstill, stall. They didn't give a fuck because they got their money, they got their homes, they got their livelihood. They don't care how many people on SSI would be waiting for a check and would probably literally die if they didn't get that check so they could pay for their medication and etc. Or whoever, a mother with a whole bunch of children, she needs her checks that she gets to take care of her children so that she can continue to go to school, improve herself so that she could have growth from within to do better in life. They don't care about none of those fucking people. None of them. All they care about is other people who are like them, exactly like them. So to have a black woman who's supposed to be from Louisiana, knowing what it's like to be poor and come from one of the poorest fucking states in America, but now you so much of an elitist and you so egregious that you out here really telling black women to vote for Republicans? Are you crazy? Like, I guess the lesson of the Jim Crow bill, so to speak, but House Bill 1020 that Mississippi voted in so that white people could have a super majority special court to only rule over crimes for black people in Jackson, Mississippi is not good enough for you to understand that you don't need to ever vote for Republicans. You need to make sure every one of them motherfuckers get out of office so that people could have a half decent life in this fucking country. I'm telling, if black women, I'm telling you, if it ain't the black women fucking white dudes trying to be white, trying to pretend like every other black person who's not doing the shit, the sellout shit they're doing is not good enough because you not fucking a white dude and doing what they doing. It's a black woman like Cherie with her bullshit where she's so rich, she's so intelligent, she's so above you, and only intelligent people can understand that we need white racist Republicans in office to look out and think about the best interests of black people. If you believe that bullshit, I need to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge right over here, okay? Black people so fucked up in the head on a whole. They run around with all of this information, playing at doing the right thing all the fucking time, looking to overly assimilate into whiteness. They don't know how to acculturate into shit. They can't just be themselves in white environments. They gotta wanna be white. They gotta wanna fuck over black people. People that need to make a living out here. People that don't have the education that a lot of us have, but still need to make it. They wanna fucking throw them under the bus and shit on them just to get $2 more from the white man, and then they feel like, oh yeah, I'm doing something, I'm accomplishing something in life. I can't fucking take it, y'all. And I'm telling y'all better stop this fucking complacent bullshit. Start speaking up and shutting these lives down. That stupid shit she's doing right now, every single person over there should just leave the live so she could get the message. Ain't nobody trying to hear telling black people to vote for no racist, fucking, racistly systematic fucking Republicans. Ain't nobody, Donald Trump, Chris Christie, all the shit he did. What's the other one? DeSantis. And the list, and all the white bitches. And the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. Ridiculous. But y'all vote for them motherfuckers if you want to. And when you got no jobs, getting evicted all over the country, got a total and complete abortion ban nationwide, and then next they come after your birth control, then tell you that you got to stay with a nigga you trying to get divorced from. You're not able to live your LGBTQ, whatever it is, life. They coming after your kids that want to do whatever they want to do with their body and etc. Then you come back and let me know if voting for Republicans was the best option for you. Bye, y'all. Some of these black women, they really need to have their blackness revoked and thrown right into the fucking life of poor white trash, fucking trailer trash life. That's what they deserve. Cause you trying to sell your own people out. It's just crazy. I mean, there has never. If you don't believe me, look this shit up. What I'm about to say. There has never been, after, right, the Reconstruction phase in America and the Freedmen's Bureau Act, a actively progressive, beneficial state of the country or state of the union for a Republican-led House and Senate since those two instances I have mentioned. After Reconstruction and the Freedmen's Bureau, every time there was a majority Republican House and Senate, the country went boop. You think I'm bullshitting? Go look it up. I am not lying. So you could do that if you want. You will be sorry. I just wish you didn't have all these people on here always constantly trying to hoodwink and lead black women astray. I can't. But I have to speak my piece because hopefully people will understand that voting Republican is not the way to go. And this goes to show you just how indoctrinated you are with being abused and believing and wanting to continue the legacy of white supremacy. Because if you understood white supremacy to the extent that you did, you should understand it for equality and equity in this country. You would get rid of every Republican in this country and put another person in that seat to get real democracy in this country. But clearly y'all don't want that. Y'all like this white supremacy shit and to keep black people suffering because you out here telling other black people to vote for racistly systematic white people who going to go out of their way to make sure white people have everything and black people don't have shit. But keep it up because you're doing a great job making black people more ignorant than what they are. Thank you, Cherie. Thank you. Bye, y'all. This shit is unbelievable. Oh, God. We just can't seem to get out of our own way, a lot of us black folks. We really can't. And we just can't stop trying to take all the other black people down. It's a fucking shame.